Chelsea FC. The billionaire hangover. In 2003, the Blues were reborn overnight. Roman Abramovich arrived, money flooded in, and everything changed. Trophies followed, league titles, European glory, a dynasty built at unnatural speed. But when something rises that fast, it rarely comes without a cost. Chelsea didn't just become successful, they became addicted to chaos. Managers weren't hired to build, they were hired to win immediately, or disappear. Claudio Ranieri built the foundation. Sacked. Jose Mourinho delivered titles. Sacked. Carlo Ancelotti won the double. Sacked the next season. Roberto Di Matteo won the Champions League. Gone within months. It didn't matter what you achieved, Chelsea devoured its own success. The curse wasn't failure. It was instability disguised as ambition. And when Abramovich was forced to sell in 2022, the entire system collapsed under its own weight. Todd Boehly spent over £1 billion assembling a squad with no identity. Graham Potter, Mauricio Pochettino, a revolving door of ideas with no patience. Players signed on 8-year contracts with no clear plan. A superclub without a soul. Chelsea's curse is simple. They built a machine that only works in chaos. And once the chaos lost its direction, everything else followed. West Ham. The ghost of Highbury. They don't suffer from failure, they suffer from identity confusion. A club that prides itself on beautiful football, but rarely gets rewarded for it. The West Ham way has been both their greatest strength and their biggest limitation. In 2006, they reached the FA Cup final against Liverpool. 3-2 up in stoppage time, one kick away from glory. Then Steven Gerrard happened. A 35-yard equalizer that shattered destiny. They lost on penalties. That moment never left them. Relegations followed, talented squads dismantled, Dimitri Payet became a superstar, then forced his way out. Declan Rice rose through the academy, carried the team, then left for Arsenal. The cycle repeats: build, believe, lose, reset. Even when David Moyes delivered the Europa Conference League in 2023, their first major trophy in over 40 years, it felt like a brief interruption rather than a turning point. West Ham's curse is being good enough to dream, but never stable enough to sustain it. Everton. The nearly men of Merseyside. They were once giants, league champions, European contenders, but since the Premier League began, they've lived in a permanent state of almost breaking into the top 4, almost building something lasting. Instead, they became stuck. Managers came and went. Big names arrived, Wayne Rooney returned, James Rodriguez dazzled briefly, but nothing stuck. The club spent recklessly chasing relevance. Farhad Moshiri's ownership promised ambition, but delivered chaos. Points deductions for financial breaches, relegation battles replacing European dreams. Goodison Park, once a fortress, became a place of anxiety. Everton's curse isn't one moment. It's a slow decay. A club that remembers what it used to be, but can't figure out how to get back. Southampton. The South Coast Delusion. A reputation built as football's best academy. Gareth Bale, Theo Walcott, Luke Shaw, Sadio Mane, Virgil van Dijk. A conveyor belt of talent. But that success became their curse. Every great player was sold. Every strong team dismantled. In 2016, they finished 6th, a real breakthrough, then the exodus began again. By 2023, they were relegated. The system that made them successful ensured they could never stay successful. Even when they returned to the Premier League, the pattern remained: develop, sell, rebuild, repeat. Southampton's curse is being too good at producing talent for other clubs. Aston Villa. The sleeping giant myth. They'd been called a sleeping giant for over 2 decades. At some point, it stops being sleep, it becomes reality. Since their last league title in 1981, Villa have drifted between relevance and obscurity. Martin O'Neill brought hope in the late 2000s. A team capable of breaking the top 4. Then the investment stopped, the project collapsed, relegation in 2016 followed. Even after returning, inconsistency defined them. Jack Grealish became the symbol of the club, then left for Manchester City. Unai Emery brought structure, European football, belief. But the weight of history lingers. Villa's curse is expectation without recent proof. A club constantly told it belongs at the top, but forced to prove it all over again every season. Norwich City. The yo-yo nightmare. Norwich perfected one thing. Promotion, relegation, repeat. Too strong for the championship, not strong enough for the Premier League. Teemu Pukki would score goals for fun one year, struggle the next. Managers stuck to attacking principles that worked below, and failed above. Fans celebrated promotion knowing what came next. Norwich's curse is predictability. A cycle so consistent it feels scripted. Fulham. The American experiment. Fulham have spent years trying to find their place. Big spending under Shahid Khan. Playoff victories, immediate relegations, Aleksandar Mitrovic dominating the championship, then adapting to the Premier League years later. Marco Silva finally stabilized them. But for years, Fulham's identity shifted constantly. Defensive one season, possession-based the next. Nothing stuck. Their curse is reinvention without continuity, always starting over. Brighton and Hove Albion. The Brighton paradox. Brighton might be the smartest club in England. Data-driven recruitment, turning unknown players into stars. Graham Potter built the system, Roberto De Zerbi elevated it. They play fearless football against anyone, and yet, the curse is inevitable. Every success gets dismantled. Ben White, Marc Cucurella, Moises Caicedo, Alexis Mac Allister. All sold for profit. The model demands it. Brighton don't collapse, they reset. But the ceiling remains. Their curse is sustainability over glory. Always progressing, never quite arriving. Brentford. The Brentford blueprint. Brentford are similar. Smart recruitment and analytical decisions. Ivan Toney leading the line, Thomas Frank building a cohesive unit. They beat bigger clubs regularly. But like Brighton, success attracts attention. Players leave, and depth gets tested. Brentford's curse is punching above their weight, and being forced to prove it again every single season. Wolverhampton Wanderers. The Wolves' identity crisis. Under Nuno Espirito Santo, Wolves rose quickly. A Portuguese core, Europa League runs, defensive solidity. Then it unraveled. Managers changed the style, players left, and results dipped. Wolves went from a clear identity to constant adjustment. Their curse is losing what made them special in the first place. Crystal Palace. The Palace Purgatory. Palace have mastered survival. Season after season, they stay up. Mid-table finishes. Occasional moments of brilliance. Wilfried Zaha carrying the attack for years, but never pushing beyond, never collapsing either. Stability became stagnation. Even with new talents and new managers, the ceiling remains. Palace's curse is comfort. Safe but stuck. Nottingham Forest. The Forest fairy tale, rewritten. They are European champions, twice. But modern football doesn't care about history. Since their return to the Premier League, they've rebuilt almost entirely. Dozens of signings, constant changes, and survival battles. The city ground still roars, but the gap between past and present is enormous. Forest's curse is legacy. A glorious history that modern reality refuses to match. AFC Bournemouth, the Bournemouth miracle. Bournemouth shouldn't even be here. A tiny club that climbed from the lower leagues to the Premier League. Eddie Howe built the dream. Survival became success, but resources are limited. Relegation came, promotion followed, the cycle continues. Bournemouth's curse is scale. Competing in a league that's financially out of reach. Sheffield. The Sheffield rise and fall. Sheffield shocked everyone in 2020. Overlapping centre-backs, tactical innovation, a top-half finish. Then the second season happened. The system got figured out. Confidence collapsed, and relegation followed. Their curse is being solved. A brilliant idea that didn't evolve fast enough. Burnley. The Burnley transformation. Burnley FC under Sean Dyche were predictable, defensive, physical, and effective. Then Vincent Kompany arrived and changed everything. Possession football and attacking play. Promotion achieved, but the Premier League punished the shift. Burnley's curse is identity conflict. Caught between what worked before and what they want to become. Luton Town. The Luton dream. They went from non-league to the Premier League in under a decade. A miracle. Kenilworth Road hosting giants, but the gap in quality was brutal. Every game felt like survival. Their curse is reality. The dream is real, but so is the challenge of staying there. Some curses explode in one moment, others stretch across decades, some break, others evolve. But every Premier League club carries something. A pattern, a story, a shadow that refuses to leave. Because in football, success isn't just about talent or money. It's about escaping the narrative that keeps pulling you back. And until that changes, the curses don't end. They just wait. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe, 'cause I'll be posting frequently here.